Hello! In this tutorial, I would like to introduce you some general features of the data editor, features that don't change when we switch between the data view and the variable view. So let's look at the menus. You'll find out that within the menus in Windows, some letters are underlined. These underlined letters represent the keyboard shortcut for accessing that specific function. So if you prefer keyboard shortcuts to clicking with mouse, press Alt on the keyboard plus the underlined letter. So for example, to access the File menu, you would press Alt plus F. I will now briefly guide you through the most important menus and some of the options that they contain. File. This menu contains all of the options that are usually found in the file menus. You can save data, graphs or output here, open previously saved files, and print graphs, data or output. Edit. This menu contains edit functions for the data editor. You can, for instance, cut and paste blocks of numbers in SPSS. We can also insert variable, which is used to insert a new variable into the data editor. That means adding a column. Or we can insert cases, which is used to add a new row of data between two existing rows of data. You can also use the options to select various preferences. Then we have a View menu, which deals with system specifications, such as whether you have grid lines on the data editor or whether you display value labels. Data menu allows you to make changes to the data editor. Some of the most important features for us are split file, down here, which is used to split the file by a grouping variable, or select cases, which is used to run analysis on only a selected sample of cases. Then we have transform menu that you should use if you want to manipulate one of your variables in some way. For example, you can use recode to change the values of certain variables, or the compute function that is also useful for transforming data. For example, you can create a new variable that is the average of the two existing variables. Then we have Analyze, and I would say that the fun begins here, because the statistical procedures are hidden in this menu. Here are some examples of the ones we will need for our tests. Descriptive Statistics, compare means, then correlate, regression, log linear, non-parametric tests. This is the base for our tests, and we will definitely get to know the Analyze menu more. Then we have Direct Marketing, which is a feature that enables companies to conduct advanced analysis of customers or contacts, but we will not use this menu. Then we have Graphs menu, which is used to access the chart builder, and where you can create different types of graphs, and we will definitely work with this more. Then we have Utilities. In this menu there is an option, Data File Comments, that allows you to comment on your dataset. This can be quite useful because you can write yourself notes about from where the data come, or the date they were collected, and so on. Then we have Extensions menu, where you can install extensions. Windows menu allows you to switch from window to window. So if you are looking at the output and you wish to switch back to your datasheet, you can do so using this menu. And then we have, last but not least, the Help menu. This is an invaluable menu because it offers you online help on both the system itself and the statistical tests. Okay. At the top of the data editor window there are a set of icons here that are shortcuts to frequently used facilities in the menus. Using the icons will save you some time, so let's go through them and their functions together. We have the Open Data document This icon gives you the option to open a previously saved file. And if you are in the data editor, SPSS assumes you want to open a data file. If you are in the output viewer, it will offer to open a viewer file. Then we have Save this document icon, which allows you to save files. Print icon, which activates a dialog box for printing whatever you are currently working on. Then we have Recall recently used dialogs. Clicking on this icon will activate a list of the last 12 dialog boxes that you used. You can select any box from the list and it will appear on the screen. So this icon makes it easy for you to repeat parts of an analysis. Then we have these two very familiar and famous icons, undo and redo user action, which works like in any other program software. Then we have go to a case. This icon enables you to go directly to a case, which means a row in the data editor. This button is useful if you are working on really large data files. So for example, if you were analyzing a survey with 3,000 respondents and you want to see the answer from a respondent number 2407, by clicking on this icon you can skip straight to the case by typing the case number required here. Okay. Then we have go to variable. Similar to the previous icon, clicking this button activates a function that enables you to go directly to a variable, a column in the data editor. So it's the same, but you will just choose the column where you want to go to. Then we have variables icon, which opens a dialog box that shows you the variables in the data editor and summary information about each one. Now we are in gender. You can see the variable name, the label, measurement level, and the value labels. Okay. Then we have Run Descriptive Statistics icon, which will shorten your way to run descriptive statistics and will produce a data overview in the output. We will get to know more details about this later. Find icon helps you to search for words or numbers in your data file and output window. In the data editor, it will search within the variable that is currently active. Then we have Insert Cases. Clicking on this icon inserts a new case in the data editor. We have already talked about this. Also Insert Variable, where you can create a new variable to the left of the variable that is currently active. Split File will help you in situations in which you might want to analyze groups of cases separately, for example males and females. Then we have Weight Cases. We will not need this, so we will skip this one. Select Cases, which will help you if you want to analyze only a portion of your data. This function allows you to specify what cases you want to include in the analysis, so you can define it yourself here in this dialog box. Then we have Value Labels. Clicking on this icon will either display or hide the value labels of any coding variables. Please have a look on the gender variable, and I will now click the value labels icon and you see what happens. If you press this icon, the coding will appear on the data editor rather than the numerical values, so you will see the words male and female in the gender column rather than a series of numbers. And last but not least, we have the Use Variable Sets, and this icon enables you to choose variable sets that you want to use. You can either use the ones that you defined or the ones defined by default. By default there are two sets. This is all variables and new variables which was created during the SPSS session. Okay, that's all I wanted to teach you about the menus in SPSS. I hope after watching this tutorial you are more familiar with the menus and icons in SPSS. Thank you for watching.